Hey guys, so this video is going to be a little bit of a rant, but I hope you guys still enjoy it. Okay, so I love Gen 2 Pokemon. The Johto region is basically my favorite region, always has been, always will be. But there's some people in the region that I personally am not the biggest fan of, that being the gym leaders and the Pokemon that they choose to display in battle. Now, for this first one, I wanted to personally talk about the first gym leader you come across in Violet City, Falkner. Now, Falkner is the most, Falkner, I hate him with a passion because he has, in my opinion, he has the worst team to throw at you as a gym leader in Gen 2. I hate it so much. The team that he throws at you is a Pidgey and a Pidgeotto. That absolutely sucks for a multitude of reasons. My first issue with that is that these Pokemon are terribly leveled. Now that's an issue with Gen 2 as a whole. It has just like a little bit of a leveling problem, but I'll talk about that in another time, in another place. This is about Falkner today. Falkner comes at you with a Pidgey that is essentially level 9. Actually, no, sorry, scratch that. I'm thinking of Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I want to get into both this, that, and Crystal. In Pokemon Crystal, Falkner comes at you with a Pidgey with level 7. It knows Tackle, Mud Slap. And then he comes at you with a level 9 Pidgeotto that knows Tackle, Gust, and Mud Slap. Now, I want you guys to just understand this. Like, there is just so much just terrible about this team as a whole. And this is supposed to be the first gym leader to test you. I'm going to use somebody as a base here, just so you guys can understand a bit more of my frustration here. And who I'm going to use as a base for this, I'm going to be using Brock to kind of better explain my point here. Now, again, I'm not trying to say Brock's team is like the most insane thing in the world. But what I'm trying to say here is that Brock just works. Because here's the thing, with rock types, when you're first starting the game, rock types are kind of like, they have like this insane defense. They're really tough Pokemon to beat. I think that Brock is an introduction, even though in the first original games, his rock type Pokemon don't even have a single rock type move when you first fight him, even though they do change that in Fire Red and Leaf Green. I think that rock types and Brock as a gym still works because at the end of the day, it still is a very tough gym starting off your journey. Because again, rock types having their insane defense and rock types just being like insane tanks. Basically, it is something that is going to like challenge you. With Falkner, I could see most people just zooming through or just blitzing his team. Now, I will say this. There is a bit of improvement in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Pidgey is a bit of a higher level than Pidgey, and so is Pidgeotto. And with Pidgeotto knowing Roost as well. I still genuinely don't think that makes it even that much better, in my personal opinion. I still think that this team just really sucks and is lacking. Not only that, one of my main gripes with this team is that Falkner, being from Johto, he doesn't use any Gen 2 Pokemon at all. And this is just like a big gripe with me that I've had with a lot of the gym leaders in Johto. I think something that personally just annoys me a lot about it is that there are so many flying type Pokemon that are in Gen 2, but he refused to use any of them in the first battle against you. Let me list some so you guys can understand. Also, side note for Pokemon Crystal, I just want to say this. I find it very strange for some reason. I don't know what the team or like the developers at Game Freak they were thinking. Why give Falkner as the TM that he gives you Mud Slap? Mud Slap, of all the moves in Pokemon, Mud Slap is the one he gives you in Crystal. That's just a personal thing I just found really weird. Like, I feel like you could have given him like any other flying type move to give you and people would have been fine with that. I'm glad they changed it to Roost in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which I think is infinitely better than Mud Slap. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's just another thing I wanted to talk about. Just the TM he gives you is just so weird. Now, so you guys can understand my pain, I'm going to list to you almost all of the flying type Pokemon that Falkner could have used in the battle against you. Hoot, Noctowl. These two would have been perfect. Literally perfect. Next up, we got Togetic. Again, while it originally back in the day before it got its fairy typing, it was a normal flying. It would have been perfect and it would have done the job. Next up, we got Natu. Again, it's another good flying type. It is a bird. We can't question that. Next up, Murkrow. Murkrow would have been another great choice. That would have been another great choice to throw at you as a player. Gligar. another flying type Pokemon. While it does look a little bit different, it's not really a bird. It's still a flying type, still can work. Next up, we have Delibird, another bird type Pokemon. Delibird being more of like a penguin-like, but still, it has the flying typing. It still is valid. One that begalls me to this day that we don't see him have this Pokemon on his team in the games I'm specifically talking about. Skarmory. When you rematch Falkner, he comes at you with a different team in the fighting dojo. In my personal opinion, I don't like this team either. It sucks. Because again, I'm not saying it's like the worst thing in the world. I think it's obviously like times better than the team he throws at you originally. But I think it just frustrates me. There's so many flying type Pokemon from Gen 2, but Falkner fails to have only 2 of them on his team. All of these Pokemon, I don't have too much of a problem with. I just personally think that Falkner should actually use some Gen 2 Pokemon and rep his region. That's all I'm trying to say. Get a Skarmory in there. Get a Togekiss in there. I don't think anybody would bat an eye with Falkner with a Togekiss. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that. Tell me in the comments below, what do you think of Falkner having a Togekiss? I think it makes sense personally, in my opinion. And again, I'm fine with Falkner having some bird type Pokemon that aren't from Gen 2. I just feel like he should rep the region more. I would have loved to even hell. You know how cool would it be to see Falkner with a Gliscor? I wouldn't mind a Gliscor. You know, Gligar's from Gen 2. I can make an exception for that one. But that's just my little personal opinion here and there. I personally think if we're talking about just Pokemon Crystal, I don't think he should have had a Pidgey or a Pidgeotto. I'm gonna just keep this brief and simple. I think that should have been a Hoot and a Noctowl personally. I feel like maybe they should have just been low level, like a level 7 Hoot, level 9 Noctowl. I feel like that would have been fine. Maybe there's another reason for it. Maybe there's some game design things that I'm just personally not thinking of or aware of, but I feel like he should have at least Hoot and Noctowl would have been great for Crystal, like Gold and Silver. Now for Hard Gold and Soul Silver, I feel like I have like 2 ideas for this team in Hard Gold and Soul Silver. Same things before. He either throws at you the Noctowl line, or this one's more of like an insane one on my part. I think that he should personally throw at you in Hard Gold and Soul Silver Murkrow and Skarmory. Like, I know this one's a bit more insane. I agree. I do think it is a bit more insane, especially for the first gym. But I kind of would want Falkner to use like some bird Pokemon that definitely feels like it would challenge you as a trainer. And I feel like at a low level, I feel like Skarmory would be perfect as that challenge, in my personal opinion. But yeah, those are just some basic ideas I basically had my overall frustration with Falkner. I wish he used more Gen 2 Pokemon when he battles you. I'm not the biggest fan of his team in the fighting dojo. I feel like it could have been better. More Gen 2 Pokemon, please. I would have I would have loved that. But yeah, that's my personal take on Falkner's team. I'm not gonna get into like his stuff in other regions, like in Black and White. I'm mainly wanted to just stick to Gen 2 for this one. But yeah, that's this video. And tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I'll see you for whatever I decide to make next.